welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I make videos to help encourage Christian singles. I feel like my video angle is really close today, so excuse it if the video angle is weird. But anyways, if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, and if you feel like you know someone who would benefit from watching this, please share. That helps get my videos out there. But today is not that exciting of a topic for a lot of people, but I think it's something to consider with this series that I'm doing about being a blessing for your future spouse. One of the big things that I think is valuable for men and for women, and I'm really coming, side note, side tangent, I'm coming from a female's perspective, but I'm also coming from a perspective of prayerfully considering what the Lord has for me. And so with that being said, take everything I say and bring it to the Lord. Pray about it. Pray about how you can take action in the things that I share. And really this is something between you and God, and try to implement what you really feel God is just convicting you of or showing to you or revealing to you. So little disclaimer there. But what I wanted to talk about today was preparing financially for your future spouse. And I just think this is something we don't really consider or think about as singles a lot of times because we're just trying to survive, or maybe you do have a good job and you are being financially responsible. If that's you, way to go. I really just felt a conviction very early on in my whole dating life was to prepare myself to be a blessing to my future husband. And with that being said, some things that I implemented very early on in my walk, just not having any credit card debt. I do have credit cards, but I pay them off. And if you are really concerned about your credit score, I would just kind of evaluate, like, is your credit score the most important thing to you, or is being debt free the most important thing to you? Because I think like we put a high value on like a really good credit score, and I just believe like the Lord will bless you for being financially responsible. And once again, take that to the Lord. I know a lot of people are like, don't pay your credit cards off every month, like that hurts your credit. But for me, I would just rather be debt free and just take the consequences of maybe not having as high as a score as someone who's in debt. So that's just me personally. Obviously, take that as you want and pray about that. But I just really wanted to be able to be a blessing to my future husband and not bring financial burden onto him. And so another thing that I really prioritized is paying off my student loans. Once again, if you have a lot of student loans, that's not to say like God won't bless you with a husband. I'm just sharing like my personal conviction, but I just really put priority to pay off my student loan because I didn't want to have that burden going into a marriage. So once again, like that was something that I was personally convicted of. And as a single, one thing that I've really implemented is tithing. And I think maybe I should have started this video with that. And really, our money, our finances come from the Lord. And so if we are spending our money and just everything, like on everything that we want, and not considering that the Lord is the one who provides for us, then I think we are doing ourselves an extreme disservice as a believer. The Bible is very clear about giving the Lord the first of our fruits, which is tithing. And once again, that's like a personal conviction. I don't think you should give because you feel that you have to in order to get a blessing from the Lord. Like, that's not how tithing works. Tithing is basically within your heart acknowledging that God is in control of your finances and saying, God, I trust you with my finances. And that's really what tithing is about. It's acknowledging to the Lord that he is in control. And I have been blessed time and time again by that. And it's just really saying, God, I trust you with everything that I have, and I'm giving you the first of my finances. And if I have like an unexpected expense come up in my life, like I trust that you will provide a way miraculously. I believe that you are the God who provides, and because I trust him in that, it's a relationship building with the Lord. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about tithing, is it really does increase your trust with God and increase just like a feeling of security, knowing that you are not in control of your finances, God is. And it's actually kind of freeing when you just walk in that obedience. So I would pray about that. If you've never tithed before, maybe start with something small, like a small amount, and just really have a prayer and a heart that says, God, I want to trust you with my finances. And if you're a guy watching this video, I would just really consider, if you're going to date a godly woman, are you prepared financially to have a wife? And are you prepared financially to potentially have a child? Because a woman of God is going to want some babies. And so if you are in a place where you're not prepared to take care of a wife or take care of a child, then to consider, what can I do to prepare financially? I've heard many parents say, like, there's never a place where you're going to be where you feel fully prepared to be a parent financially. And so I would just really pray about like what that looks like for you. Like, can you provide for another person? And if you can't right now, I would encourage you to stop dating. Don't even consider dating, because at that point you're really wasting someone else's time because you're not in a place to provide for them. And that might sound harsh, but I just think it's really unwise, because you are setting yourself up to be in a very prolonged season of dating, which allows for like temptation. And I just think if you're going into dating as a believer, the reason you're dating is to potentially marry that person. And so if you are not potentially marriageable material, then don't enter into that right now. Like, be real with yourself and focus on setting yourself up financially. If that means taking on a couple extra jobs, side hustles, it really doesn't take that long to secure finances if that's what you're focused on. And that's kind of rolling into my next point. If you feel that you don't know how to get out of debt, like maybe you hear me talking about being debt free of like credit card, student loan, whatever else kind of bill you have that's racking up, I would highly encourage you to take Dave Ramsey's Financial Freedom course. A lot of churches put that on for free, or they just charge you for the book itself, which I think is around like $80. It's just a course that teaches you how to be debt free. And there are some things about Dave Ramsey that some people disagree with as far as like investing goes. And I would just encourage you, if your goal is to be debt free, Dave Ramsey's plan is really amazing. And that's an amazing place to start, to just kind of recognize like, how are you spending your money, and how is your money being used every month, and are there areas where you can kind of cut back in order to save money? And I think that's really a good discipline to learn. Back to the women, is learning to discipline your spending, because if you do get married and you do get pregnant right away, then you may not be able to work for a short period, like a couple months of being pregnant and having your baby. and just recognizing, like, how are my spending habits? Like, if I was forced to be on my husband's income, would that be detrimental to our, like, living? And kind of challenge yourself with that. Like, what would that look like to live on that one income? And just really focus on becoming a good steward of your finances now as a single. That is going to bless your future marriage so much. That's going to set you up to just be able to do things as a couple financially that maybe would be a hindrance if you didn't have that already set up. And one thing that I'm not saying in this video is if you do have debt or if you're not good with your finances, that God won't bring someone into your life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, optimally, how you can be a blessing, you know, in this season of waiting. What are some practical things that you can do to work on to help your future spouse? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make you feel bad in this video if you do have debt, because, you know, sometimes that's unavoidable. Maybe you have medical bills. You know, there's things that are kind of unavoidable circumstances. And I just want to encourage you, if you are there, first of all, you're not in a hopeless place. God can help you where you are with your finances right now. And I would just encourage you to pray. Ask the Lord to help you with your finances. If it feels like you're drowning in them right now, I would just really, really seriously consider what are the things that you're spending your money on right now, and what are the things that God is really calling you to cut back on and to save towards. And once again, just try to take that financial freedom class. It is very freeing. It teaches you about how to manage your money if maybe you've never done that before, and it sounds scary. It does sound scary initially, but I promise you it will help you in the long run, and it will give you confidence to know that you are not out of control. Like, you can be in control of your finances and you can have that freedom, right? I think debt really chains you down. It kind of makes you a slave to it. It maybe will make you walk in secret shame. And maybe those are some things that God needs to release from you, and just taking time to pray about it, taking time to be real with the Lord about where you're at and what you want to accomplish with your life and what that looks like. And as I said, I would just really sit down and ask God, like, what are some things that I can do right now to be a blessing to my future spouse financially, whether that's being the provider as a male, or being, you know, kind of the woman that comes into the relationship and not being a burden, but being a blessing. And once again, like, this is just my convictions. These are things that God has really revealed to me. So I don't want you to feel bad if you do, or if you're not where you feel like you should be right now. I believe in you. I trust that God will use this video to help encourage you, to show you maybe routes that you can take financially to just be in a place where you can be a blessing. So I just appreciate you watching this video, and hopefully it helped you. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or other tips. I would appreciate that. And I just pray that your day is blessed. Bye.